Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of I'm a Boss. This is where we feature entrepreneurs, creators, inventors, and just all around bosses. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Nietzsche. I'm a social media expert, a marketing guru, a clothing designer, editor-in-chief of a magazine, and a boss myself. If you want to support this platform or this effort, be sure to send a Cash App to $NEECHY. You can also text the letters NEECHY to the number 797979. And don't forget, follow us on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, everywhere. And also share this video with everyone that you know. Guys, I am so super excited about the conversation that we're going to have today because there are two amazing ladies who are bosses themselves. And I'm excited for them to share their journey, their story, their triumphs with you today. And I think that you're going to be inspired. My first guest is my sister, my friend. She is amazing. I'm talking about Dom Nicola Smith Jackson, this amazing, beautiful sister, this wealth expert, entrepreneur, mother. She is so many amazing things. My sister, how are you doing today?
I'm amazing, Nietzsche. Thank you so much for having me here on your platform. I'm very excited.
Yeah, we know each other from, from some years back, and you have just always been on point. I can honestly say that, and I'm sure that there's been some unique space, but I can honestly say that whatever I've seen you put your hand to, you have excelled and you've been a boss at it. So before I get into all the boss moves, just tell everybody a little bit about who you are, what you do, and the business that you do.
For sure. I am a lover of Christ. I know I am nothing without him. And, with that being said, I've been able to be courageous enough to walk from being a hairstylist of 20 plus years at that time, who during that time was by 23 buried 3 children, was a single mom at that time. And then fast forward with, identifying with some type of vision of just bigger than what I was, not that I knew I was going to be this boss, mogul, all these things people call me now. I was just a person at heart that wanted to have time with God. I just wanted to have more money than so I didn't have to be going from paycheck to paycheck. And I wanted to have a sound family life. I didn't want to have to build wealth while losing what was important or even losing who I was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just said something. What did you say about by 23?
By 23, I buried 3 children. And, I have a son he is 22 years old and he is disabled. He has cerebral palsy. He never walked a day in his life. And I thank God for that experience, because I know I wouldn't be who I am without those trials and tribulations that I have had to endure. It makes you really have perspective about everybody's life is important.
Yeah, by you sharing just even that portion of that, it tells me that there was a journey, that there was a process, that there was a drive, that there was a determination that got you to where you are now. I mean, you threw me back there with that statement, so I'm grasping my thoughts.
Yeah.
But and I appreciate you sharing that with us. But I know that there was a journey, a process to get to where you were now. And so having experienced all that you experienced, and I'm sure that story, we would have to sit down and have a cup of coffee about it. But having experienced all that you have experienced, what is it that made you say, all right, but I want to do something different for my family. I want to do something different for my life. I want to progress. I want to be consistent. What was it?
Well, for number one, when you have people who are depending on you, it's not really about you. When I learned about the industry of what we would consider now network marketing, I can share with you that I was that hairstylist. It was 2008. It was a time very, very similar to what we're going through right now. I can tell you that challenges are all in the way we look at them, because I was, again, by this time, I had a blended family. We now is married, been married to my husband now for 14 years. And we had a blended family with a son that was disabled. So when we came together, we had a family of 5, and then we had Caden 12 plus years ago, turned into a family of 6. So people would say, what do you want to be? How do you want to be consistent? For number one, I knew that in 2008, even though my clients at the time were losing their jobs, I knew that there was no households that can take in 6 people at the same time. Okay. And then now I knew that those households didn't have a ramp for my son's wheelchair to be able to roll up into. And so with that being said, it was like, okay, what are my options? At the first look, it looked like there were no options. Mm-hmm. And I want everyone out there to understand, and I want you to write this down. There are always options. Yeah. And so you would have to ask God to allow you to see the options. And let me tell you where the options are. They are hidden in the obstacle. The options are hidden in the obstacle. They reveal themselves when you ask for them to be revealed, because God gives you the desires of your heart, and he's going to show you what you asking for. So if you see more of the problem, if you see more of the obstacle, then you're going to see that bigger.
That's right.
If you want to see the opportunity, then you want to say, well, what is it? What is this challenge telling me? Do I need to up level some skill? Do I need to up level my crew? Do I need to be looking at seeing things differently? Do I need to be spending more time with God where he knows everything and makes sense? And so it pushed me into all of those 3. And I ended up at a Bronner Brothers hair show. Now I'm going to tell you this now, mind you, the downturn in the economy allowed me for an opening in my schedule to go be a platform artist at the Bronner Brothers hair show. Mm-hmm. Now, if I had looked at the opportunity that my clients were dropping off because they were losing their jobs, I was able to, because at this time I started not even being able to go into every Saturday. Now, everyone knows that Saturday is a big day for a hairstylist. But because of some things, I said I wanted the number one, I wanted to be at some of my son's football games. So I started working 2 Saturdays a month. That was a risk. Then the next thing is that Saturday that I had open, I was able to be at the Bronner Brothers hair show. And I was able to now, straight across from me, while I am whipping up some weaves, I was able to see some women going in, getting these garments on or whatever, and they were coming out looking so much smaller. Now,
looking snatched.
They were snatched. And guess what the obstacle was? I had blew up like the Nutty Professor because I had my last son a little bit later in life. I was 35 when I had my first full-term child. And so I was bigger than I had ever been in my life. And I'm like, I needed that. So what did I say? The opportunity is hidden in the obstacle.
Yeah. You know, I shared a thought from a natural perspective a couple of weeks ago about this lady who, whatever the scenario was, she was at home with her child, and she was trying to figure out how to keep her baby busy. And so to her, that was stressful. How can I keep my baby busy and do what I'm doing? And she started showing the baby videos of other babies, and eventually took that and turned that into an $18 million situation. And when the big companies purchased it from her, it was an obstacle for her. It was something that was stressing her out. How can she do this and navigate her everyday life? And so I appreciate what you said, even though I gave it a natural perspective about if you magnify the obstacle versus a solution, then the obstacle is what's going to become the bigger thing. That's how you have to do that. You mentioned family. How for some people, obstacle, for lack of a better term, they feel like, man, I just can't do this. I just can't move in this because I need to take care of my family. I need to be consistent. My 9 to 5 is what's consistent. And since that's what it is, and then I got to run child to soccer practice, or I have to take care of this or take care of that. What you're a mom, how can a person balance those things, be a parent, have normal life, maybe even still be in a 9 to 5 job, and balance out going for their goals and their entrepreneurship?
Man, that's so huge, because one of the things is that I painted the picture, which was my life of a mom in a blended family with all boys. All I have is sons. And then one that couldn't even go and get a cup of water if he needed to. So what does that mean? I needed to be home more often. Those 12, 14-hour days in the salon, coming back home so exhausted with not enough money to have full-time help for him. I was like, okay, I need to be able to be home. Then our other boys were going into teenage years. Oh, you need to be home, right? You need to be available when your kids are growing. And then I also still wanted to make sure, I love to cook, but I wanted to make sure my kids had healthy meals. They had to have healthy meals because of the health challenges that they had as being premature kids or whatever. I needed to make sure that they had quality food. So the best way to know what's going on in your food is if you cook it yourself. So you
That's
say,
right.
okay, wait a minute. You have all this and then you need to cook, you need to whatever. I'm telling you right now is you have to have plan. You have to be organized. Organization don't mean perfect. I am not Leave It to Beaver mom. I am a real homegirl who, says, you know what? I had to wake up and you have to pray to stay, meaning stay out of your head and then stay in the game. So
you're gonna make me jump up out my seat with that. You're gonna make me, because I've been there. Okay. Yeah. I've been there in that you said pray to stay out of your head. Family, I'm telling you, we will talk ourselves out of some stuff. We will talk ourselves into some stuff. We will allow a bad conversation or a unique conversation to trip us up for the entire day and sometimes the entire week, and to possibly change the direction of where it is that we want to go. So I'm appreciative of this comment, this phrase that you just gave us, pray to stay, and especially when it comes to how our mind and our headspace is regulated.
Absolutely, because that is where everything is created. It first starts in the heart. Mm-hmm. And then because in the heart, that's what we're talking about, this subconscious, unconscious. This is what's driving you every day. And then now it goes from there into the head. And then what you think becomes the things. And so this is not cliche. I am 100. I know the whole, spiritual and scientific, processes to becoming wealthy. But I am sharing with you right now that you've heard these things and it is the truth. There is no secret. And so what I did is I literally had to create my own schedule. I had to say, okay, I got to wake up before everybody else gets up and get in my head before anybody else do. People have bad mornings because they didn't start their morning right. So I even do a whole podcast every day called Power Start Your Day. That was how I started my day. So I just started sharing it with everyone, right? Almost 900 episodes of sharing it. I also have a planner. This is the Power Moves planner. It just came in the mail. I was sharing this with Nietzsche before we came on. And the Power Moves planner, it shows like what I do is I start with my prayer, then I get into my personal development, and then I get into income producing activities. If your problem is money, then that means that your day, your DMO needs to be about getting money.
That's right.
It can't be about talking about getting money, right? It needs to be about getting money.
Yep.
So your day have to be, I got to promote my business. Then now I have to identify some time to now invite people to take a look at it. Then now I need to now expose them to it, and I need to get a response so that I can know where does that person lie. Yeah. We have been taught so often about go make money, but then now what do we do with the managing the money we get?
Yeah.
So now when you get that money, what
are you gonna do?
Yeah, into growing more of what you want, because what you sow is gonna grow.
You are a money expert. You're a money expert. I'm glad we're having the money portion of this conversation. What can we do? Give us 3 pointers on how we can be better with our money. We have found ourselves in 2020 in a unique situation with the pandemic. Some of us had savings set aside, some didn't. Some had jobs that kept them on, some didn't. Some were able to apply for unemployment, some couldn't. Some could get the special loans for their businesses to maintain their employees, some couldn't. What are some of the things that we could have done and that we probably should do personally for our personal selves going forward to ensure that we are financially stable, regardless of if we are at a $10 an hour job or a $100 an hour job?
That's right. I'm so glad you shared that, because most people think, number one, be real with where you are. Okay. Don't try to be where somebody else is. number one. Be real with where you are. Don't try to be where someone else is. The reason why is because comparison is the thief of all joy. Some people will use that as an excuse to say, well, I was one and I couldn't get a stimulus check, right? So now we're feeling bad for ourselves. Well, I couldn't get a stimulus check because they didn't qualify for one, but I'm sure the tax is going to make me pay for it though.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get one, right? But let me explain something to you. All of those are opportunities to take a look at yourself. What you want to realize is God gives seed to the sower, and what you
Yes.
sow will grow. Wherever you've been putting your money, it's there. So be realistic as to what did you do? What kind of steward were you over what you had?
Mhm.
Not to be remorseful. Go ahead and bury that. And now identify what could I do a little bit different.
Yeah.
Now, it's not about how much money you have, because I've trained entrepreneurs for many years, and I even was in a cash-based business of being in a salon. And you would see no matter how much money a person earned, they would raise their spending habits to that
To
same,
fit that.
which the bottom line is still zero.
Yep.
Okay. So it's not about the think of, watching what people earn and looking back at what you have. I have seen people who now could start off with a salary of very low, but they invest their money either to grow the money. Money likes to be moved and multiplied. So when you begin to understand that your money is supposed to always be first budgeted, you need to be clear on what money is coming in, and you need to be clear on what money is going out.
And we are not always clear on what's going out.
Look
We're
at
not.
your bank statement, baby.
Mhm.
That debit card gonna tell you where your treasure is, what's
Yep.
most important to you. You'll be surprised. At some point, mine was Panera Bread. I was spending so much money in Panera Bread, but thank God it was Panera Bread when somebody sat down and shared my last opportunity that I'm in now that made me, a good bit of money. But
Mhm.
what I'm sharing is when I started looking at how much Panera Bread was getting of my money, and I had not one share in Panera Bread, I said, now, Lord, I know you're going to get me down the line for this one right here. This is just not being smart, right? And so you start saying, well, what was it about Panera Bread that I wanted? What was it? Why was it getting so much of my treasure? It was the instant gratification.
Mhm.
It was the walk in there. And that's what typically is that's the tripper.
Yeah.
You want to say, what is this doing for me? For me, it was getting out, because I was working in the house and I wanted a little atmosphere. So I'd walk in there, but I walk right up to the corner and spend $30, $40 a whop. I'm like, wait a minute, you gonna tell me you can't make no sandwiches at home, or you don't know what to do with your money?
Yeah. You have so much financial wisdom, family. I want you all to make sure she is, like she mentioned, every morning is encouraging and empowering people. Put your journal back up again, your
Yeah.
planner.
Power Moves planner.
Yes. Look at this. Family, listen. I'm enjoying this conversation because you are looking at a beautiful sister who is an entrepreneur, who is multifaceted. She's a mom, an entrepreneur. She's a wealth expert. And now she has this planner. Where can everybody follow you at on social media? Where's the website? Where can we get the planner? When can we get it?
Let me tell you something. You definitely gonna. It's already almost sold out the first batch, and they haven't even got here yet. But let me tell you something. When I put the link on there for you to get on a wait list, I'm not going to collect any money. I'm not going to do anything like that. You can follow me at Nicola Smith Jackson. And also you can ask to be a part of the Power Moves Facebook group, right? I have tons of very large groups that teach financial literacy, but this is where you will be hearing, because this is where we talk about this stuff about the power move. It's a day-to-day grind. Yes, and you have to have some accountability and people who are doing it with you. Yep. And I'm gonna tell you this right here. Power moves mean just that. We have no power without the Holy Spirit. This is where even when everything seems like it's falling apart, that if you're plugging into him first, he will give you the next step. You will not know all of your steps. I train people how to create their first million, and I tell them you got to take milli milestones. You got to take milli milestones. Everybody want to get there before they even take the milestone steps. And so Power Moves is going to help you first get your head in the game, get on a daily regimen every day, go through the processes so that you can literally block out the haters and the naysayers, because you will have them.
You
At
will.
every level, you will have them.
Yeah, family. I follow Nicola on all social media, on the website. I'm amazingly proud of you. I'm excited for what you're going to do with this planner, and I'm sure whatever else that you're going to be putting together in 2020 and beyond. I appreciate your story. I appreciate your journey, and I was just super excited to talk to you today, my sister. I love you. God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon. Guys, you heard from an amazing entrepreneur. I hope that you were inspired today, because they're bosses. We come in all shapes, sizes, walks of lives, different journeys, different styles, but the goal was not to give up. And so I hope that you have been inspired thus far by Nicola's story. But you know what? I got one more story for y'all, and I think y'all gonna like this. But before we go there, make sure that you are following us on all social media at Niche. Make sure you share this video, share this broadcast with everyone that you know. And if you want to support this effort, then use $NEECHY via Cash App. And don't forget to text the letters NEECHY to the number 797979. I was on Instagram scrolling, as you know, all of us do, and I'm always looking at the natural hair care community. I'm always looking at people who have created natural hair products or natural skincare products or natural candles. I just love that kind of thing. Someone who has created themselves. I buy a lot of those things. And so I came across this company called T Rain Co. And I'm gonna tell you, our beautiful sister Michelle James is here. She's the owner of T Rain Co. What drove me to it, Michelle, was I saw your branding was on point. I like the bottles that you have for the spray, for the hairspray. I like the jars. Like, you know, I was drawn to it. So my sister Michelle, welcome to I'm a Boss Today.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you taking time and effort and supporting me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I had to, because like I said, I'm a fan of all things homemade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of all things homemade. And when it's one of my beautiful African-American sisters, I'm definitely trying to support. And so I have placed my order, y'all. Placed my order.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate it. I got a notice today of something. I got to go back and look at it. So I was excited to support that, and I can't wait to try it out. So you are Michelle James. You are the owner of T Rain Co. Tell us what T Rain is.
T Rain was founded on the my love. I'm a 20-year plus professional hairstylist, and I'm also an herbalist. So I decided to put those together as a hairstylist and behind the chair and focusing only on natural hair. I found that a lot of naturals have buildup because they're focusing on shades, coconut oils, butters, you name it, and it causes a lot of buildup. So what I was noticing that it's not the oils that you need to focus on, it is actually the moisture. So that's why I have Moisturizing Matters here. So I combined my love of herbalism and my love for healthy hair care. And I combined them together to make T Rain Co.
Yeah, so because I saw that you had this spritz for the hair, which, like you said, in the natural hair community, shea butter is king. Okay, it's like if it does not have shea butter and coconut oil, it's like
we just love to slather ourselves in coconut oil with shea. And I'm not saying that they don't have a place, because they do. They need to be on your body or on your food if you want to use it that way.
Yeah,
but not in your hair. And so this hair market is billions of dollars worth. And you name it, from top companies, L'Oreal, there's all kinds of companies that focus on hair care. But if you look at the products, the majority of them within the first 5 to 6 ingredients have an oil in it, or a heavy butter, or a glycerin, or a silicone in it. And so what my focus is before you put, if you're going to use it, which I, as a hair care specialist, I would rather you're not, but if you do, start with healthy hair care first and let that be the moisture, and let the moisture, get that moisture built in your hair. And then if you want to follow up with a light oil for sealing, then I say go for it.
Take me back to your decision to even begin to even start making anything relative to hair care.
Yes. So like the previous boss, in 2008, I was working in the banking industry. I worked for City Financial, and we were in the sub lending. So of course, when the market crashed, I was out of a job. And so my first love has always been hair, but at that time, I had kind of molded myself or moved myself from one area of hair to another. And that's when I started focusing only on natural hair. So I opened a salon, and in the salon atmosphere, I was doing tea rinses and incorporating herbs into the hair care regimen of my clients. And I moved to a different state. My husband and I had children late. And I kind of figured with the new move and not earning the same income we were earning because of the move, then we had to figure out another way to bring extra income in. And how do we support our family and do that in a way where I feel conscious, like I'm not out here just trying to sell anything. I'm not just trying to do anything. And what feels good to me. And what felt good to me was incorporating T Rain Co. And that's why T Rain Co. is a combination of my kids' names.
So tell everybody where they can find it online.
Okay, so yeah, on all my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it is at T Rain Co. Herbal Hair Care. And it's at T Rain Co. Kids, and maybe soon to be T Rain Co. Beauty. So I incorporate, this quarantine's giving me time, you know, hey.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Michelle, I appreciate that you took the time to talk to us today.
Yes,
I can't wait to see where T Rain goes, and I can't wait to get my box.
Oh,
Y'all make sure you go and support.
Yeah. Tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, God bless you, sister. You all, you've heard some amazing stories today. I mean, from different, like we talked about before, from different walks of life, different capacities, one end, another end, north, south, east, west, different journeys. I hope that you were inspired today. And don't forget to follow us everywhere on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You can support this platform by doing $NEECHY via Cash App. You can also text the letters NEECHY to the number 797979. And just remember, baby, you a boss.